Alright guys, here's what we're working on. 2007 Suzuki SV650. I had an exhaust leak on this bike. I swapped the motor on this bike also because it had a bad motor. This motor on it runs great, but I had an exhaust leak when I was putting everything back together. So I bought some manifold gaskets, but I had to take this header off and broke both bolts. So we're going to work on trying to get those bolts out. I've been trying, I tried welding bolts to it, but it's like an aluminum type bolt. And what I'm going to do is plan on drilling these out and then putting some studs in it. And hopefully never have to deal with this again. So this is what we're doing. So get cranking. All right, got one stud in. I drilled it out. I just kept stepping up my bits. Started with a really small one like this, and then just kept stepping up in size. Here they are laying here, until I got to the, then went to the large bit for the tap. Problem is I went a little bit crooked, which is not good. But I think I went in deep enough. You know, I looked at one of the bolts that came out of the other bike's head, and it looks like it's in there enough. It will probably pull up a little bit more once I tighten it down. I tried the two nut thing to try to get it to go up, but didn't have enough space for my wrenches to fit in there. But I think it'll be okay, and it should tighten up some once we tighten the bolt down on the exhaust manifold. So we're going to try to get the next one done. I'm going to do the same thing, just keep stepping up bits, and we'll see what happens. I did buy left-hand bits because I was hoping that it would catch the bolt and back it out, but it never did. Just pretty much ate the bolt up. So I think we're good to go. We're going to try the other side, see if we can get it a little straighter, and go from there. All right, I don't know if you can see up in there. I got the second hole drilled out, and here's the bit that I used. There it is. I marked it how far I needed to go in. So now we're going to use the tap, and we're going to run the tap in there and tap those holes out and get ready to put the other stud in. All right, guys, hope you can see up here, but I got the two exhaust manifold bolts or studs put in. Got the bolts on, got the exhaust up on there. This is just kind of a test fit, making sure everything's fitting all right. I think I'm going to throw a washer or two underneath the right side, which is the side closest to us. It just seems like it's not pushing it up in there all the way. So I'm going to make that adjustment here when I do the final install. So getting ready to put everything together and getting ready to put it on. Hopefully it goes on smooth. I'll let you know in a bit. All right, guys, I got the exhaust fixed. I just ran it for a second. It was not leaking any, but didn't have any exhaust leak at the top or at the connectors where I had to replace the gasket there, and got the whole rest of it back on. I did have to modify this top bracket clamp, whatever you want to call it, part of the clamp that pulls up and holds the exhaust in, because this stud was a little crooked. So I had to take a Dremel and kind of ream out the hole there just a little bit bigger to be able to get on this stud. So I've got that on. If you run into any problems trying to get your exhaust on and it doesn't want to slide all the way up into the connector up here in the back, check down here on this part of the bracket, I hope you can see okay, there is a little collar that sits in here, and it will slide out and it'll catch your exhaust, and your exhaust can't slide up all the way, but you can't see it. And so I was sitting here fighting, why isn't my exhaust sliding in all the way? Took it all off, looked, checked up here, thought I had something pinched or clamped or catching up there, and it was fine. But then I put my finger down here underneath the foot peg and felt the little collar piece hanging out that was catching the exhaust pipe and wouldn't let it slide in. Pushed that in, it slid right into place. Everything went right together. So I think we're done with the exhaust. I have some more work to do on this bike. I'm going to leave it on the lift. I'm getting ready to do the chain on it because the chain had some frozen links in it, so I'll probably do a video on that next. But I hope this helps somebody out. And if you have the exhaust manifold bolts break, because they use like these aluminum bolts in here with Loctite, and so the heads just break right off of them as soon as you try to get them off. So if you run into that problem, this is what you're going to probably have to do. I tried everything to get those bolts out and they would not come out. I had to just cut them. And so hopefully that helps somebody else out. Hopefully you don't run into that problem, but if you do, this is how you fix it. So yeah, got a mess here to clean up, so I'm going to clean up and then start on the chain.